Under the cold moonlight, footsteps echo through the mountains. Someone, or something, is on the move. A group of masked figures dash through the mist, moving in perfect sync. You could tell they're trained assassins. And at the heart of a storm of lightning and chaos, a single figure stands. The heavenly demon has awakened. His voice drips with menace. Blood and fear, is that what you really want? He's calm, almost too calm. Dark energy twists around him, forming monstrous shapes in the sky. The air itself trembles under his power. He raises his hand slightly. Then I'll give it to you. It's not a threat, it's a promise. He dives straight into the battlefield. Bodies explode on impact, screams echo, but his expression doesn't change. When the dust settles, the land itself looks scarred. Blood forms a crimson circle beneath the moonlight. Hovering midair, he clenches his fist, the aura still burning around him. How weak, he mutters, almost disappointed. A group of warriors charge in, blades drawn and faces set with determination. They think they stand a chance. The heavenly demon just sighs, his hand glowing with deadly purple energy. So foolish. In an instant, the energy erupts. Everyone is thrown into the air, ripped apart by the sheer force of his power. Blood splatters as blades clash, and the heavenly demon smirks. See for yourself. His power surges, demonic energy twisting around him. The true power of the soul-augmenting demonic art. Even from miles away, enemies freeze. The ground trembles as the mountain echoes with that terrifying energy. The ground cracks open as a massive, glowing arm bursts out, radiating pure demonic energy. A shadow looms overhead. Soldiers freeze in terror as the colossal hand rises, blotting out the sky. Then, with an earth-shattering impact, it slams down. Everything in its path is crushed to dust. The ground pulses with purple energy. Multiple demonic hands crawl out, each one radiating corruption. A lone warrior kneels in despair, whispering, "Is it truly impossible?" Suddenly, the mountain itself begins to shake as something massive starts to emerge from deep below. Bodies pile up, the battlefield painted in despair. The survivors can only whisper, "Can we really defeat the heavenly demon?" The fallen corpses begin to tremble, glowing with the same cursed energy, their life force being pulled away. From the chaos, the demonic hand absorbs everything: power, life, and soul. Rising higher, hungrier than ever. The land lies silent, scorched, and hollowed. Only faint purple embers remain where life once stood. Under the pale moonlight, blood rains from the heavens like the sky itself is weeping. The heavenly demon stands motionless, drenched in crimson, as if the night itself bows before his power. The battlefield falls silent again, rain mixing with blood as the wind carries the scent of death. The heavenly demon exhales sharply, annoyed, not exhausted. A sinister grin spreads across his face. Were they the last of the heavenly demon candidates? He mocks, his crimson eyes burning brighter. The battlefield falls into complete silence, not a single sound breaking through the heavy air. Corpses lie scattered, glowing faintly with leftover demonic energy. Even peace feels impossible in a world soaked with blood. Suddenly, his eyes flare red. Pain surges through his body. He clutches his chest, screaming as something inside begins to tear him apart. Blood gushes from his mouth as his body trembles, his own power turning against him. Dark energy swirls violently, his control slipping away. So it's begun. The recoil of the soul-augmenting demonic art. Consumed by the same souls he once devoured, he realizes the truth. Absolute power always demands an unbearable price. He laughs bitterly, his crimson eyes glowing with madness. "I thought I could surpass what even other heavenly demons couldn't," he mutters. "Guess that was just arrogance talking." Two eerie purple lights flicker in the darkness. Something watching, something awakening. The ground begins to tremble as countless glowing eyes emerge from the shadows. spreading like a plague ready to consume everything. His eyes widen in shock. Something's wrong. Something powerful just stirred. A deafening roar echoes as chains of pure energy burst from the ground, surging straight toward him. He's instantly surrounded. Purple chains twist and spiral, trapping him in a storm of his own corrupted power. Chains of blazing purple energy snap around his legs, locking him in place before he can react. More chains lash out, wrapping around his arms and chest, tightening, glowing brighter with every pulse. Now fully bound, his body hangs midair, swallowed by the demonic light of his own creation, his power turning into his prison. Through clenched teeth, he growls, "Are you trying to drag me to hell?" Blood drips from his lips, but his eyes still burn with fury. He lets out a low, twisted laugh, cuckoo, his power beginning to surge uncontrollably. Then he roars, his voice shaking the heavens. "Who dares to force me?" As the chains tremble against his overwhelming rage. The raging power around him spirals violently, twisting into a glowing vortex that begins to swallow everything, including him. His eyes snap wide open. Panic flickers across his face as he realizes what's happening. His body starts dissolving into particles of light, his strength slipping away. "Ah!" is all he manages to say as his power and existence begins to fade. As his body dissolves into light, he realizes this wasn't the end he wanted. He reflects on the power that consumed countless souls, finally understanding its true nature. With a faint smile, he whispers that in his next life, he wants to walk a different path. His soul drifts upward into the sky, fading gently as he wishes for just one thing: a peaceful and quiet life. A calm breeze, sunlight through the trees, and koi swimming lazily in the pond. Peace fills the air. A man sits quietly by the water's edge, lost in thought, the reflection of a tranquil life surrounding him. A cheerful voice breaks the silence. It's So-So, a servant from the Golden Wall merchant's house, calling him for his meal before it gets cold. He slowly lifts his hand, a calm but sharp movement that feels oddly controlled. In an instant, he swings, reflexively, startling So-So, who freezes in shock. As the wind settles, we see his face clearly. Bayok Tae-san, the second son of the Golden Wall merchants, stands there, his presence calm, yet commanding. So-So snaps, scolding him for acting strange these past few days, completely done with his weird behavior. She yells at him to get back to his room, while Tae-san stares at his trembling hand, annoyed. In his mind, he curses this frail body that can't even swing properly. Looking at his reflection, he sighs. The face staring back feels foreign, too soft, too human. But beneath that calm surface lies the heavenly demon himself. The table's packed, plates stacked high with food, each one steaming and rich in color. Tae-san sits down, chopsticks in hand, trying to eat but clearly irritated. Even something as simple as lifting rice feels frustrating in this weak body. He sighs, muttering that this body's worse than trash. So-So, trying to cheer him up, tells him not to say that. He'll recover soon. But deep down, he knows this isn't a body that belongs to the heavenly demon he once was. Tae-san mentions that a so-called genius physician is supposed to visit soon, but he's clearly unimpressed. He doubts anyone unknown could fix what's wrong with him. So-So tries to stay upbeat, telling him to stop being so cynical. If he wants good things to happen, he needs to think positively. He doesn't respond, just sits there in silence as sunlight spills through the window. It's been 10 days since he woke up trapped inside this frail, powerless body. The scene shifts to Wuhan, home of the Golden Wall merchants, one of the most powerful trading families around. Inside a quiet room, someone stirs awake, his frail body trembling as he forces himself to sit up. Holding his head in confusion, he mutters, "Where am I?" The voice, the place, the body, none of it feels like his own. Everyone rushes in as he wakes up. So-So's overjoyed, but the truth hits hard. This body's completely useless. He can't even dress or feed himself properly. Out in the yard, he takes a slow walk, realizing his body's not only weak, but annoyingly good-looking, a pretty boy face that doesn't suit someone who once ruled as a demon. But then, he pauses mid-step, because the biggest problem isn't his looks or strength. It's something far worse. Turns out, this body's condition is beyond hopeless. Every single meridian is shattered. He could literally drop dead any second. He can't believe it. After everything, his so-called second life starts off in a body that's already dying. But giving up isn't an option. He'll find a way to survive. Determined, he focuses his power. Using the energy of lingering souls, he plans to reconnect the broken meridians piece by piece, forcing this weak vessel to hold together until it heals. He realizes there's only one way, using the soul-augmenting demonic art again. But there's a catch. To use it, he needs souls. As he watches Soso quietly sweeping the yard, he remembers how easy it used to be. Just kill, take souls, and move on. But he knows if he goes down that path again, he'll lose himself all over. A faint smirk forms on his lips. Not this time. He's been given a second chance, and he's not wasting it. He remembers the truth he uncovered right before death. The final secret of the soul-augmenting demonic art. If he can harness that knowledge now, he might just surpass every limit he once had, maybe even evolve beyond what's humanly possible. A new level, something no heavenly demon in history has ever achieved. He calls out to Soso, calm as ever, and says he wants to head out for the day. Soso lights up instantly. Finally, he's showing some energy. But when he casually mentions where he wants to go, a courtesan house, her brain just about short circuits. Completely flustered, she laughs awkwardly, trying to play it off, while thinking, where did that come from? Flustered, Soso tries to dodge the situation, suggesting someone else should go with him instead. Maybe the bodyguard. But her tone softens. She admits he's been acting strange lately, and it's thrown her off. She's worried, though she hides it behind nervous words. He looks at her calmly, no hesitation in his voice, and simply says, "Come with me then." Soso instantly panics, yelling out a nervous "no thanks," while he just walks off coolly, completely unbothered. Later that evening, she's seen talking with someone, the orange sky glowing behind her, still thinking about his strange behavior. She sighs, worried. He's been different lately, colder, distant, and now he suddenly wants to visit a courtesan house. Something's definitely off. As the sun sets, he looks around with a faint irritation. His so-called bodyguard is nowhere to be seen. Soso, still fussing with his clothes, reassures him that the bodyguard's just punctual, not lazy. He's probably just finishing up training. Then she hesitates for a moment and quietly says she hopes he's not pushing himself too hard. There's real concern in her voice this time. He pauses for a second, a bit taken aback by her words. Be hard on myself? Soso gently explains that he's been acting like he's already given up on life. She tells him to stay hopeful, at least until the doctor arrives. As the sun dips behind them, he quietly reflects. For the first time, he can truly sense someone's genuine concern. She's not just talking, she actually cares. He lets out a small smirk. Honestly, being cared for like this doesn't feel that bad after all. Just then, he glances toward the gate and says, "Looks like he's here." Soso turns in surprise, totally caught off guard. A loud horse neigh echoes through the courtyard, the sound cutting through the calm sunset as someone finally arrives. Soso's eyes widen. How did he know someone was coming? He smirks slightly, thinking to himself, how could I not notice when his energy's bursting like that? Footsteps echo against the wooden floor as someone steps through the entrance, their presence heavy and controlled. The two finally face each other, the air tense for a brief moment under the warm sunset glow. A confident voice cuts through the air. Cheon Kyungwon steps forward, bowing slightly. It's been a while since you've called for me, sir. The heavenly demon studies him closely. His aura feels sharp, disciplined, like a blade forged through endless training. This man isn't just strong, he is strength itself. He glances toward the horizon, realization setting in. The Golden Wall merchants, maybe they aren't as ordinary as I thought. The evening sun dips low as the sound of horse hooves echoes across the dirt road. Cheon Kyungwon reins in his horse, glancing at his master. "We're here, sir." The marketplace glows under warm lantern light, buzzing with life. The heavenly demon scans the crowd silently, his sharp eyes already assessing every movement, every presence around them. They arrive at the towering, fragrant flower house, one of the most prestigious courtesan houses in Wuhan, its glow piercing through the night sky. The horses are tied up outside, their breath visible in the cool night air as the noise of the crowd hums around them. Cheon Kyungwon steps back respectfully. "I'll be waiting here, sir." The heavenly demon gives a faint nod before heading inside. As Cheon offers to wait outside, the heavenly demon pauses mid-step and turns back. "Why?" Cheon blinks, caught off guard. "Pardon?" The heavenly demon continues, calm but sharp. "I'm asking why you'd wait outside a courtesan house." Cheon stiffens, trying to justify himself. "That's because if something happens..." But the heavenly demon cuts him off coldly, his eyes narrowing. "Are you confident you can reach me before it does?" The silence that follows says it all. The heavenly demon starts walking toward the entrance. "Stop talking and follow me. You should enjoy yourself too." Cheon hesitates. "I can't do that." The heavenly demon pauses, glancing back. "What can't you do? Have fun? Or..." His tone drops, eyes glowing coldly. "Obey my orders?" Cheon's face pales instantly, realizing this isn't a request, it's a command. The heavenly demon leans forward, gripping Cheon's shoulder. "It's fine if you can have fun and protect me at the same time." His tone sharpens. "But if you can't, then at least stay close to me." Cheon gulps, the weight of that gaze pressing down on him. "Why, yes, sir." The heavenly demon smirks slightly, satisfied. Turning toward the massive red doors, he pushes them open without hesitation. "All right, let's go." The sound of the door creaks as the night swallows them whole. As soon as they step inside, a group of courtesans rushes forward with bright smiles, greeting them warmly. "Welcome." The red-haired man smirks confidently, while his guard behind him stays alert, scanning the lively surroundings. Inside, soft music fills the air. A courtesan begins to play the guzheng, her fingers gliding across the strings as the atmosphere shifts from loud to elegant. The room is filled with music and laughter as everyone sits around the table, drinking and chatting. The atmosphere feels light, almost too perfect. In the middle of it all, he casually lifts his cup and asks, "Where's the bodyguard who came with me?" His tone calm, but his eyes sharp. Cut to the guard, standing stiffly by the stairs, arms crossed, clearly on edge. He's still outside, blocking the way. One of the girls explains. The main guy sighs to himself, thinking, that man's way too serious. One of the courtesans leans in with a charming smile, gently pouring him a drink, clearly trying to lighten the mood. But he waves it off calmly, saying he's not feeling well. The room goes quiet for a second, until one of them teases, asking what they should do instead. He looks up with that cold, unreadable expression and says, "I want to hear the rumors about me." The girls blink, caught off guard. That's definitely not the answer they expected. He leans back, crossing his arms with a smirk, telling the girls to spill everything they know about the second son of the Golden Wall merchants. They glance at each other nervously. This just turns serious. The scene cuts to the grand exterior of the building, glowing under the evening sky, setting the tone for what's coming next. One of the girls starts whispering, saying she's heard that Bayok Taesan inherited 1,000 golden yangs, a small manor, and even a few courtesan houses. The rumors sound almost too perfect. Rumors spread that because of his weak health, the second son didn't get much power. All the real inheritance went to the eldest, Bayok Taesu. The Golden Wall name looms large over the city, something everyone in Wuhan knows about. Back inside, he listens quietly, processing every word. He realizes this kind of talk would have never reached his ears if he'd stayed isolated at home. He stands up suddenly, cutting through the chatter with a calm but firm tone. "All right, enough talking." Let's get started. The room tenses up immediately. He takes a slow step forward, his tone low but firm, saying it'd be too much trouble to deal with everyone at once. A sharp glint flashes in his eyes, his focus narrowing. He's clearly about to make a move. He looks up and says calmly, "Just you would be enough." The woman freezes, eyes wide. She didn't expect to be singled out like that. He sits down inside the private room, motioning for her to come in. The red curtains close behind them, setting an oddly tense atmosphere. Outside, the other courtesans whisper among themselves, confused and curious. "Why'd he only pick her?" one of them mutters. Inside, silence fills the air as the two sit across from each other. She's nervous while he studies her calmly, like he's waiting for something. He asks her how long she's been working here, keeping his tone casual. She smiles softly and says it's been about 10 years, long enough to have seen everything that happens in this place. He smirks slightly, that confident look in his eyes returning. "That's just right," he says. "Shall we get started then?" His words sound calm, but there's something deeper behind them. Outside, the other courtesans gossip immediately. They whisper, wondering what's happening behind those curtains, teasing, curious, and a little jealous. "He's so good-looking," one of them sighs. "I want to go next time." Outside, the bodyguard senses something off. He turns his head sharply, his instincts kicking in immediately. Suddenly, a scream echoes through the building. The courtesans nearby freeze in shock, their faces twisting with confusion and fear. Inside, chaos breaks loose. The bodyguard stumbles into a shocking scene. His eyes widen as he witnesses something completely unexpected. The guards outside freeze as muffled screams echo from inside. One of them frowns. "What's that sound?" Tension rising in the air. Then it spreads. The entire building hears it. Every floor, every hallway filled with gasps and wide eyes. The scream reverberates through the courtesan house, shattering the calm. People start nervously laughing, trying to play it off. "Haha, sounds intense," one says awkwardly. Another jokes, "Guess the sound isolation spell wore off." But everyone's faces say the same thing. That wasn't normal. A sudden scream echoes through the room. Something's clearly gone wrong inside the courtesan house. The atmosphere turns tense. The noises and confusion spill out into the halls, grabbing everyone's attention. Whatever happened inside isn't normal. It shocks everyone nearby, leaving them frozen in disbelief as the chaos unfolds. A loud scream echoes as a surge of dark purple energy bursts from the young man's hand, his aura blazing with power. The woman before him collapses, her body enveloped in that same mysterious light as her energy seems to react to his. He channels the power deeper, his expression cold and focused while the energy violently transfers. The entire room trembles as her scream pierces through the silence. Night falls over the city, the courtesan house glowing under the lights, silent after the chaos that just happened. A door slides, open slowly. Cautious steps echo through the hall as someone enters. Cheon Kyungwon walks in, his voice calm, but filled with concern as he asks if his master is all right. A faint smirk creeps onto his face, dark energy still lingering around him. He's clearly satisfied with what just happened. With a confident grin, he says he's feeling awesome, as if the chaos only fueled him more. Cheon Kyungwon looks uneasy as his master walks past him, the atmosphere heavy and silent while the courtesans quietly bow in respect. The commotion spreads fast. Someone rushes in, shouting Waryong's name, demanding to know what just went down. The girls gather around Waryong, shocked. She's glowing, literally radiating beauty like she's been reborn overnight. They're all whispering theories. Maybe he gave her some kind of mystical elixir? But Waryong just looks confused, saying she can't even remember what happened clearly. Waryong touches her face in disbelief. Her body feels light, her energy renewed. It's like she's been reborn into someone new. The scene shifts to morning, sunlight spilling over the Golden Wall merchant estate, calm after the previous night's storm. A young maid sighs while sweeping, worried about her young master. She mutters that he might have fainted at the courtesan house again. She hears footsteps approaching fast. Her broom freezes mid-sweep as she turns toward the sound. The young master appears, walking back through the gates, looking completely fine. His presence radiates confidence as his bodyguard follows behind. She rushes up, shocked and worried, blurting out if he really went to the courtesan house and whether he's okay. He brushes her concern aside coldly, telling her if she's that curious, she should just ask his bodyguard. He brushes her concern aside coldly, telling her if she's that curious, she should just ask his bodyguard. As the young master walks away, she watches him go, uneasy. He looks perfectly fine, but something about him feels different. Back in his room, strange purple energy starts to swirl, leaking from a hidden artifact. The air grows heavy and ominous. He sits cross-legged, channeling the power as a massive surge of energy bursts from within, connecting him to something ancient and divine. His eyes open slowly, calm but terrifyingly focused. Whatever just awakened inside him isn't ordinary. He stares at his glowing hand, realizing he's only managed to open a single meridian. The process was way harder than expected. His mind flashes back to his death, where he uncovered a hidden truth about the soul-augmenting demonic art. That power comes at a cost. Absorbing souls grants strength, but also destroys the body from the inside out. He performs the ritual with precision, cleansing the chaotic thoughts from the soul before drawing in only the purified energy. That purified essence is the true power of the soul-augmenting demonic art. He tested it on courtesans whose pain made their souls the strongest. The method works, but his body isn't keeping up. This cursed vessel is far weaker than he expected. He decides to stay at the courtesan house for now. His cultivation requires it, and it's the perfect cover. The whole place bursts into excitement as word spreads. He's back. The one everyone thought was too weak to return has shown up again. The women can't stop gossiping. He's handsome, from a rich family, and apparently spending a night with him makes you glow like a goddess. Everyone's secretly hoping they'll be next. The moment he walks in, the room practically lights up. Every girl's gaze follows him. To them, he's not just handsome, he's the definition of confidence. Someone flirts, teasingly asking if he's already chosen who he'll spend the evening with. Meanwhile, the owner watches from above, fanning herself with an annoyed sigh. Looks like her most troublesome guest has returned. She's frustrated. The noise isolation never works when he's around. Every time he shows up, the whole place loses control, and the customers start complaining. They call him Phantom Shadow, and honestly, it's strange. A man who was supposed to be half dead is now making waves in a courtesan house instead of staying with his own family's estate. Her assistant offers to dig into the Golden Wall merchants, but she shuts it down immediately. They're too powerful to mess with. Better to just watch him quietly for now. Someone's dead set on uncovering the mystery. They need to know what's really happening behind those walls. Meanwhile, he walks in cool and calm, completely unfazed, as curious eyes follow his every move. The courtesans greet him warmly, smiles full of admiration. Clearly, he's not just another guest to them. He looks around calmly, saying he's ready to take up the challenge, but he's looking for someone specific. Without hesitation, he orders the manager to bring everyone out. He wants to see them all. The manager hesitates, pointing out that these are already the top courtesans, implying the rest won't be worth his attention. He stands his ground, his expression sharp as he senses something unusual nearby. Without hesitation, he moves forward, making it clear he'll be the one to decide who's worth his attention, not anyone else. The courtesans watch in confusion, whispering among themselves, wondering why he's heading toward the fragrant flower house. He looks at her with curiosity, asking for her name. She softly replies, "I'm Dan Young." With a calm but confident smile, he says he only needs her for today, like he's already made up his mind. The others watch in disbelief, whispering behind him, shocked that he chose the least favored one among them. He walks down the hall with Dan Young quietly following behind, her presence surrounded by a dark, eerie aura. He studies her closely, realizing there's something different about her. Her soul is heavy with sorrow. This is exactly the kind of energy he's been searching for. He clenches his fist, mentally preparing himself. It's risky, but now that his small meridians are connected, he's ready to take on this challenge. He pushes open the door with determination, his mind set. I'll use her soul to connect the core meridian. As they step inside, Dan Young looks at him with confusion, noticing his sudden shift in focus. A smirk crosses his face, his eyes narrowing as he mutters, "Look at these assholes," clearly sensing unwanted company nearby. A cold, sharp aura fills the air as a name echoes, Cheon Kyungwon. Standing tall and composed, Cheon Kyungwon bows respectfully and says, "Yes, sir," his tone steady yet uncertain of what's to come. A wave of dark energy swirls around, and a chilling voice commands through the haze, "I need to borrow your sword." He grips the hilt tightly, dark energy flaring around his hand. The sword hums, as if alive. With a single slash, a surge of violet power tears through the air, splitting the ground with raw force. The aura radiates danger, sending shockwaves through the room. The blade stills, a drop of blood slides down its edge, glinting under the dim light. The silence that follows is chilling. Cheon Kyungwon's eyes widen in shock. An assassin, he gasps, feeling the killing intent surge through the air. The swordsman's cold gaze pierces the shadows. "You're still alive," he mutters, disappointed. "Well, I've gotten a little better. I guess executing delicate movements is still too tough." Blood drips rhythmically onto the wooden floor. Tap, tap, tap. The room falls into an eerie silence once more. Dan Young trembles, her eyes wide with fear. The chill of the moment clings to her as she nervously clasps her hands. The man's calm voice cuts through the tension. "I can leave the rest to you, right? I have business with her." Cheon Kyungwon nods slightly, replying, "Yes, sir." Dan Young flinches at the words. He turns to her, his gaze sharp yet unreadable. "Danielle, is it?" Her breath catches. She doesn't know whether to answer or run. A chilling grin spreads across his face, his eyes glowing faintly with demonic energy. "I'll absorb the hell out of your soul today," he says, voice dripping with confidence. "So look forward to it." The morning sun rises over Yun Manor, casting golden light on the ancient rooftops as the night's darkness fades. Inside, a servant bows before a seated elder. "I heard the second young master went to the courtesan house again last night." The elder remains silent, his expression unreadable as the light streams through the window. The elder's tone turns reflective, her gaze distant. "What do people call him nowadays?" she asks softly as light filters through the room. Yu Seoyin, Yun Manor's loyal bodyguard, hesitates before answering. She begins, unsure how to phrase the infamous titles. Her mind flashes with scandalous images. Women clinging to the smirking young master, surrounded by silk and perfume. They call him the Night King of the fragrant flower house, and the man with unrivaled potency. The elder's hand slams against the wooden floor, her voice trembling with both anger and determination. "Bring me to the fragrant flower house." Her eyes blaze with resolve, a mix of pride and emotion flickering behind them. "I must meet with him." A caption appears beneath her. Yun Heron, Yun Manor's sole child, Byok Taeson's fiancée. The scene opens with the bright morning sun cutting through the clouds, calm, peaceful, but you can feel something's about to shift. A man approaches confidently, facing the main character. "I'm here to bring you back, sir." His tone's serious, but there's tension in the air, like he knows this won't be an easy conversation. The other man's eyes widen, shock flashes across his face. Whatever he just saw or heard clearly wasn't what he expected. He stares coldly, his voice sharp and calm. "What did you do with the assassin?" The air around him crackles with that eerie blue energy again, the kind that makes your skin crawl. The subordinate stiffens, feeling that overwhelming pressure. Such extraordinary energy. Even standing near him feels suffocating. "I've imprisoned him," the man manages to say. "Great job," comes the effortless reply. Then, with a faint smirk, he turns away. "I want to rest. Let's go back." He watches in silence, eyes narrowing. The thought lingers. Is he really the same second young master I knew? The memory flashes, that cold, commanding tone. Obey my orders. His presence alone could crush weaker men. The image of that precise, deadly slash burns in his mind. Fast, controlled, terrifyingly perfect. He stands alone, silent and still, his aura cold, commanding, and unfamiliar. It's as if he's become someone else entirely. The scene shifts. The path lined with cherry blossoms sways gently in the wind. Two figures walk beneath them, calm after the storm. He speaks, his tone matter of fact. I connected one of the core meridians, he says, eyes sharp with quiet pride. My body and senses have improved drastically. Blue lightning surges through twisting veins of energy. 6 core meridians left to connect, he thinks. Still a long road ahead, but at least I'm no longer worthless. A faint smirk tugs at his lips. Funny, I never thought I'd feel this satisfied over something so small. Guess I've really changed. His eyes sharpen, determination cutting through the calm. However, something bigger is coming. Her gaze locks onto him, soft yet unreadable, almost like she's studying him from a distance. He notices her staring, confusion flickering in his eyes. Who's that woman? And why hasn't she looked away since earlier? Before he can think further, she steps forward nervously. Sir, did you visit the courtesan house again today? He looks at her puzzled. I've never seen this woman before. Does she know Tae-san? He smirks slightly. Guess Tae-san wasn't a complete fool after all. Her voice trembles as she speaks, cheeks flushed. Are you behaving like this because you're unhappy with our engagement? Are you trying to push me away on purpose? His eyes widen in shock. Engagement? The thought hits him like lightning. This just got way more complicated. The wind brushes past her hair as she gathers her courage, the air between them heavy with unspoken emotion. She steps closer, eyes locked onto his. I will never give up on you. Her voice trembles, but her resolve doesn't. With a soft, pleading tone, she adds, so please don't give up on me too, okay? He blinks in confusion, thoughts racing. What is she talking about? I've never even met her before. Flustered, he quickly blurts out, that's not what I did. She looks shocked, demanding, what? He continues, I've never given up on you. Then quietly mutters, I'm meeting you for the first time, so how could I give you up? Her lips curl into a small, relieved smile. That one line was all she needed to hear. She smiles softly, eyes glowing under the cherry blossoms. You're finally acknowledging my feelings, she says with relief. He sighs internally. She really only hears what she wants to. Turning away, he says calmly, I'll be leaving then. As he walks off, he mutters to himself, I can't believe a woman actually managed to fluster me. Me, the former heavenly demon. He narrows his eyes slightly. She's a dangerous opponent. He glances ahead, realizing his companion has already walked off. Where did he get so far? The other man stays silent, face slightly flushed as the cherry blossoms drift past, clearly lost in his own thoughts. Later that evening, as the sun sets, Tae-san relaxes in a hot bath. His maid pours warm water and teases, Sir, I heard you met Lady Yun on your way back home. He narrows his eyes. How do you even know about that? She grins proudly. I've got eyes and ears all over Wuhan. He sighs internally. So she's the one who ratted me out. She suddenly changes the topic. Oh, by the way, is Warrior Cheon doing okay? He tilts his head. Huh? Why? Is he sick or something? Her voice echoes dramatically. My goodness. Warrior Cheon likes Warrior You. He blinks in confusion. Who's Warrior You? The maid giggles. You know, the bodyguard who's always with Lady Yun? He's had a crush on her forever. Tae-san's eyes narrow as he thinks, so that's why he went ahead without me. A small smirk creeps across his face as he relaxes in the warm steam, amused by the absurdity of it all. His mind drifts, back to a time when fear and respect were all that surrounded him. Emotions like these were unthinkable in my past life. He reflects quietly. Strangely enough, I don't feel angry at all. Running a hand through his damp hair, he smirks faintly. Maybe it's because my soul's now mixed with Bayok Tae-san's. A dark gleam flashes in his eyes. There are just too many interesting things happening around here. The night falls over a silent prison deep inside the Golden Wall merchant's estate, a place where screams never reach daylight. Torches ignite, their flames cutting through the darkness like fangs ready to bite. Chion speaks firmly. I've sealed his pressure points for now, but this guy's ruthless, the kind who'd kill without hesitation. Tae-san watches quietly from behind, the air growing heavier with every flicker of fire. Tae-san smirks, clearly unbothered. Is that so? Perfect, open it up. His tone carries a calm authority that makes even Chion hesitate. The cell door creaks open. The torchlight flickers, revealing a bloodied figure slumped in the shadows. Tae-san's eyes narrow as the smell of death fills the air. A faint grin forms on his lips. Good, his body's soaked in negative energy. The assassin sits bound, radiating a sinister aura. Tae-san observes coldly. The mind of an assassin is the most dangerous kind, but that same darkness hides powerful soul energy. A confident smirk crosses his face. Now that one of my core meridians is connected, it's time to test something new. Kyungwon hesitates, nervous. But sir, he's dangerous. What are you planning to do in there alone? Tae-san shoots him a sly grin. Even if you knew what I'm doing, what could you do? You didn't even sense the assassin's presence. Kyungwon freezes up, panicking. That's different. It's too dangerous for you to go alone. Tae-san's tone drops cold, his eyes glowing faintly. I won't repeat myself. The room instantly chills with authority. Kyungwon lowers his head, sweat rolling down. I understand. He knows better than to argue now. Tae-san steps inside the cell, the wooden door creaking behind him. The assassin's faint groan fills the silence as torchlight flickers across Tae-san's face. Outside, the night stays eerily calm. Only a single leaf drifts down, marking the start of something dark. Kyungwon stands outside, arms crossed, still shaken. Just now, I could barely breathe from the pressure he gave off. His eyes narrow in disbelief. It felt like I was standing before a peak martial master. A sudden noise snaps his focus. Leaves swirl in the wind as he grips his sword. What's that sound? Could it be? A chilling scream pierces the quiet night. The sound coming straight from the prison under the crescent moon. Kyungwon's eyes widen in alarm. That voice! That's not the second young master. His grip tightens. What the hell is going on in there? Inside, Tae-san stands over the assassin, his hand glowing with a dark purple aura. The man writhes in agony as Tae-san calmly drains his energy, his expression cold and unbothered. Tae-san tightens his grip, the air thick with violet energy. This scumbag, he's more dangerous than I expected. The energy surges wildly, a grotesque mix of green and purple spilling out from the assassin's body. His soul is too filthy. Tae-san snarls as the corruption seeps toward him. A violent backlash erupts. Tae-san's eyes widen as the energy explodes back at him. He staggers, coughing in pain, while the assassin's dark aura writhes like a living shadow. Tae-san clutches his trembling hand, sweat dripping down his face. Tisish, is he too much for me to handle? Narration cuts in. When a soul's impure thoughts are purified, only pure energy remains. But if the soul's too corrupted, the darkness refuses to vanish. Instead, it fuses with itself, forming something far more dangerous. Tae-san looks down at the half-drained assassin, the glow fading from his hand. It's not much, but the energy's mixed. Guess that'll do for now. He mutters to himself, I'll just stick to visiting the courtesan house for the time being. The scene shifts to the dazzling lights of the fragrant flower house, a luxurious pleasure hall that radiates charm and secrets. Inside, a confident woman with sharp eyes and a teasing smirk bites her nail lightly, clearly waiting for someone interesting to show up. The madam snaps her fingers impatiently, asking, It's been 2 days since Phantom Shadow was caught by Byok Tae-san. Still no word? The servant bows nervously, and no, not yet. Before she can respond, a panicked voice bursts from the doorway. Madam, you need to come out now. Her sharp eyes narrow immediately. Outside, chaos erupts. Phantom Shadow stumbles in, his body glowing with eerie purple energy. The terrified guard yells, "He's back!" But something's seriously wrong with him. Phantom Shadow's eyes roll back, his face pale and lifeless as a sinister red aura flares behind him. He lets out a low, broken groan. The madam panics, shouting, "Why on earth is he like that?" Then orders, "Strike his pressure points. Wake him up now." "Why, yes, madam." The servant responds quickly in jabs at the man's neck, but the moment their fingers touch, something dark begins to stir. Phantom Shadow's body convulses violently as a grotesque liquid bursts from his mouth and eyes, his entire form melting away while he screams in agony. Everyone freezes in shock. The madam and her guards stare wide-eyed. What is this?" The man yells, his voice trembling. The corpse collapses into a puddle of decay, dark mist swirling above it. The room fills with dread. Something unnatural just happened right before their eyes. The madam trembles with rage, her expression twisting. She growls through clenched teeth, the second young master of the Golden Wall merchants. "So this is how you want to play it?" Her voice turns cold as she asks, "Where's Dan Young right now?" The room goes silent under her killing intent. One of the men stammers nervously, "We're preparing to send her to the Crimson Dragon sect leader," clearly fearing what her next move will be. The madam grips her fan tightly, her tone cold and decisive. "We'll send Dan Young to Byok instead of the Crimson Dragon sect leader." The servant's eyes widen in panic. "What? But if we do that, the Crimson Dragon sect will come after us," he shouts, fear clear in his voice. Meanwhile, in a dark room, a young girl lies bruised and trembling. The servant's voice echoes in his mind. "If that vicious man finds out about this, he'll burn everything to the ground." With a smirk, the madam snaps her fan shut. "I know. So cancel her visit," she says coldly, her tone leaving no room for argument. Her smile turns wicked as she lowers the fan, eyes gleaming under the lantern light. The fragrant flower house will send a present to the second young master. A dangerous plan is already taking shape behind that smile. Time passes, and the fragrant flower house starts buzzing again. The place feels alive, but something's brewing behind those whispers. Rumors start spreading about Byok-san. People are talking, eyes following him wherever he goes, curiosity and fear mixing in the air. They say if you spend a night with him, your beauty blooms like never before, like you've been reborn. But there's a catch. Once you do, you'll never be able to escape him. Whispers spread through the brothel. They call him a deity reborn, a man who defies age itself, or maybe even a demon cloaked in charm. Either way, everyone's talking about him. At first, people just brushed it off as gossip between bored courtesans. Even I thought so, until now. Because now, women are stepping forward, bowing their heads with devotion. "I wish to serve him," she says, and suddenly, no one's sure if Byok-san is a myth or something far more real. No one knows if he's truly divine or just a monster in disguise. The madam bursts into laughter, mocking the girl for even daring to want to serve Byok-san. She leans forward, amused but curious, asking if he promised her freedom or wealth. The girl lowers her eyes and admits softly he didn't say a single word to her. The madam snaps her fan open, her tone sharp now. She doesn't care what Byok-san said. The girl still belongs to the fragrant flower house until her debt is paid. The madam snaps, ordering her to behave and prepare to meet the Crimson Dragon sect leader. No room for argument. But instead of heading there, she finds herself standing before the gates of the Golden Wall merchants, the moonlight casting a faint glow around her. She clutches her chest, heart racing. She thought she was bound for misery, yet somehow she's here. Maybe this is where fate wanted her to be all along. Her heart trembles. She's terrified. What if he looks at her and sees nothing but filth? What if he rejects her entirely? But despite all that fear, one thought burns brighter than anything else. She wants to see him again. Inside, Byok-san sits in deep meditation, purple energy swirling around him like a storm, a power both eerie and mesmerizing. A faint crackle of energy runs across Bayok Taeson's face. His power is unstable, dangerously alive beneath the surface. He stays perfectly still, his aura thickening with each breath, the air itself trembling under the pressure of his cultivation. Suddenly, a knock breaks the silence. His eyes open, sharp, alert, and slightly annoyed. A servant calls out from behind the door. Someone's here to see him. It sounds unexpected. Without hesitation, Bayok Taeson tells them to let the visitor in. The door opens, and a familiar figure steps into the light, calm, yet nervous. His eyes widen slightly as he recognizes her. Dan-young. Dan-young bows respectfully, her voice trembling slightly as she greets him. Greetings, Sir Taeson. With sincerity in her eyes, she confesses her heart. She wishes to serve him, to repay the life he's given her. Every word is wrapped in gratitude and devotion. Her expression softens into a shy smile as she adds, I hope you'll allow me to stay by your side. Taeson studies her quietly, noticing how her aura and appearance have subtly changed. It's like her impurities have been washed away, and he finds that intriguing. He suddenly calls out to So-So, asking where she sleeps. Startled, she stammers, And me? I live with the other servants. Taeson calmly orders her to find a new place, one close to him, and stay with Dan-young from now on. So-So can only stare in shock, completely thrown off. So-So hesitates, asking if Dan-young will be working as a servant now. Taeson looks confused. What would she even do? He brushes it off, saying he's heading out, and tells So-So to just take care of her for now. So-So eyes Dan-young up and down, muttering to herself, she's way too pretty to be doing servant work. So-So stares blankly, wondering to herself why Taeson has been acting so differently lately. Maybe he doesn't have much time left? The scene shifts to the bustling Fallen Flower House, one of the top courtesan houses in Wuhan, lively and glowing under the night sky. Taeson and his companion arrive, gazing up at the grand building. With a faint grin, Taeson says, Fallen Flowers, huh? I already like the name. Taeson smirks confidently, his eyes gleaming. He's not here for pleasure. He's here for the corrupt soul energies. He calmly declares that he'll be visiting only the Fallen Flower House from now on, his tone leaving no room for argument. His guard nods, following closely behind. But before they can enter, someone calls out, Oi, Golden Wall Merchant's young master. Taeson's companion tenses, turning toward the voice. The scene cuts to a smug, muscular man surrounded by his lackeys, Jiakshim, the Crimson Dragon sect leader. He sneers, mocking Taeson for being just a young brat who dared take Dan-young away. People nearby start whispering nervously, backing away. Everyone knows Jiakshim's reputation. Cross him, and you're as good as dead. Taeson steps forward calmly, his foot hitting the ground with quiet confidence, ready to face whatever's coming next. Taeson's companion glances nervously at the approaching men and mutters, What's with that musclehead? Then quickly explains, That's Jiakshim, the leader of the Crimson Dragon sect. Taeson raises an eyebrow, asking, Crimson Dragon sect? His companion clarifies that they're an unorthodox group that's recently taken root in the area. Taeson narrows his eyes coldly. Unorthodox group? They're just bandits, he says. Leeches pretending to be something grand. Taeson doesn't even glance their way and simply says, Ignore them. The sheer audacity shocks Jiakshim and his goons. No one's ever dared brush them off like that. Fuming, Jiakshim shouts, veins bulging, Are you ignoring me right now? You gigolo-looking brat? Taeson's eye twitches, a dark aura flaring around him. Gigolo, he mutters, his voice low and dangerous. Dark energy erupts behind Taeson as a ghostly figure with long white hair looms over him, his demonic presence awakening. Taeson's thoughts echo coldly. I already despise this pretty boy face to my very core. Jiakshim bursts into laughter, mocking him loudly, thinking Taeson's just scared. Ha ha ha, look at that face. You must be terrified, huh? He jeers, unaware of the storm he's provoking. Taisen smirks slightly and turns to his ally. Excluding him, he says, pointing toward Wai Jiaxim, I'll leave the rest to you. His ally grips his sword tightly, eyes sharp with focus. 2 men, he mutters, locking onto his targets. Before he can strike, 2 of the Crimson Dragon sect's goons rush in, blades drawn, snarling, not so fast. We'll deal with you first. Wai Jiaxim scoffs, mocking Taisen. You really hired a bodyguard just to look tougher? Fine, I'll let this slide, if you hand Dan Young over to me. Taisen smirks calmly. Not a chance. You talk too much. Do you fight with that big mouth of yours too? Jiaxim grits his teeth, fury flashing across his face. You little, he growls, barely holding back his rage. Wai Jiaxim snaps, veins bulging with rage. You really want to die today, huh? He roars, lunging forward with a wild punch aimed straight at Taisen's face. But before anyone can blink, Jiaxim is sent flying backward, his huge body flipping midair as Taisen stands still, hands calmly behind his back. Taisen's ally panics, shouting in alarm, Sir, please get away. Completely unaware that Taisen hasn't even needed to move yet. Taisen calmly raises his hands, his fingers flickering with eerie precision as dark energy begins to ripple around him. Before Wai Jiaxim can even react, Taisen's palm shoots forward, smacking his face so hard it distorts mid-impact. The brute's punch never even lands. Taisen's hand tightens into a fist, energy surging again. His next move's about to hit even harder. He's annoyed that his weak body can't keep up with his strength. He held back during the fight, worried the body might not handle it, and now he's realizing just how useless it is. The man he fought collapses face first into the ground while his subordinate rushes over, panicked, calling out to check if he's still alive. The main guy stays calm, barely fazed, and asks in a cold voice if his men have already finished killing the rest. The subordinate panics and stammers that he didn't kill them, clearly scared and confused. The main guy looks down at him with disappointment and calls him weak. He coldly orders him to finish off the survivors and follow right after. The subordinate, sweating nervously, quickly agrees. As he walks away, his tone shifts slightly, calm but sharp, as he adds, oh, and also, hinting that he's about to give one more command. He smirks slightly, telling his subordinate that if anyone asks, he should take credit for killing Vejiokushima. He doesn't like getting involved in messy affairs. The subordinate stiffens, nodding obediently while standing over the corpse, trying to mask his fear. He stays silent for a moment, clearly uneasy about the order, but too afraid to question it. The dead man lies motionless, blood pooling beneath him, killed instantly with a single barehanded strike. The scene shifts to a blood-stained blade, and it's clear this wasn't just luck. He caught and eliminated the assassin with precision. A chilling thought lingers. Just who exactly is this man? The subordinate stares in shock as a dark, ominous aura radiates from the man in front of him. His voice trembles as he tries to ask, Who are you really? The scene fades to a peaceful dawn over the city, the chaos of the night gone as calm returns. He wakes up later, staring at his hand, the memory of what happened still haunting him. He sits on the edge of the bed, clearly drained. His body's a mess, and he realizes he might have burned through half the energy he worked so hard to build up. As purple energy crackles around his hands, he remembers how different things were when he was the heavenly demon. Back then, his body could handle anything, but now it breaks under the slightest strain. He exhales, regret flickering in his eyes, admitting to himself that he acted too recklessly. He thinks to himself with irritation, being called a gigolo is something he'll never accept, not as the former heavenly demon. Moments later, he turns serious again, noticing someone unexpected nearby. He questions why Yun Heron's bodyguard has shown up. Inside the room, the tension rises as everyone falls silent. The woman quietly pours tea while the 2 men lock eyes, clearly aware something's about to unfold. She looks up, composed but slightly surprised, greeting him calmly as he enters the room. Without wasting time, she cuts straight to the point, clearly not buying that he came just to drink tea, and asks what business brought him here. A sharp sound breaks the silence, hinting that something or someone unexpected is about to interrupt. She eyes him seriously, asking if the servant he brought was from the courtesan house. Her tone makes it clear this isn't small talk. He internally admits she actually came on her own, but he doesn't feel like explaining. Out loud, he just says, "What if that was the case?" keeping it vague and calm. She narrows her eyes, clearly not convinced and ready to press him further. He stays quiet, the tension thick as her question hangs in the air, his calm demeanor giving nothing away. She finally asks outright if he just came back from the courtesan house. Without hesitation, he answers yes. Her reaction is instant. She bursts out laughing in disbelief, leaving him and his subordinate both confused, wondering what's so funny. She finally speaks, her voice steady but sharp, bringing up his engagement. Her words hit like a blow. She declares that his engagement with the young miss is going to be called off. The man beside him looks shocked, but he stays expressionless, processing it in silence.